Welcome to a Delco Nerd Network podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Rigucci, and here with a few friends in the Delaware County area, we get in a basement and we talk about a certain topic. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about what content are we consuming. We, as in me and Trio, my co-host.
What's going on?
Nothing.
We're here again. It's like we just did this or something.
We just did a Man and Medan review. You can probably check that out on, your favorite podcast app or YouTube.
That's all of it. I was going to add one more, but no, that's everything.
I would ask you what's up, but I kind of know what's up. What do you think of It Chapter 2? We haven't really talked about that.
So, that's true.
I know what you're doing.
Yeah. So, no, it was good. It was. It was a little long.
That's what I've heard. I heard it's in 2 hours 50?
2 hours and like 45 minutes.
Jeez.
So,
that's a
and
lot.
I mean, you're kind of taking this journey with each character, and they got to go through everything, and it almost... In some respects, I felt like we got to check these boxes, but at the same time, the casting's so good, and I really do think that the adults represented the kids in such a great way that I just enjoyed the movie a hell of a lot. Bill Hader, easily the best part of the movie. He's fucking hilarious as well as, he's just a good actor. He really is.
Yeah.
I really didn't realize that.
He's kind of been getting into more, serious roles.
Yeah.
Lately. I mean, Barry's probably, that thing that maybe broke him out
I need to
show.
I need to watch that.
It's really good.
My John keeps telling me to watch it, and I love Bill Hader. So, but yeah, I thought it was really good. I think there was a little bit too much CGI in this one for my taste when it came to Pennywise.
Pennywise?
So I think he was definitely scarier in the first one, but he just looked more real a lot of the times. There are some times in this second one where I feel like they really kind of tried to make him larger than life, and you can tell it's not always Bill Skarsgård, and they're just using more of the CGI shit.
Is the turtle in this?
The turtle is not it. They do streamline some of the stuff. I mean,
best part, no.
No. Well,
I know that book is fucking weird.
Yeah, that book is weird as shit. There was one thing they cut out from the first one.
The orgy?
Yeah. That... I told Super, I thought, he's like, no, that's not in the book. I'm like, Christian, that is in the book. And he was like, what?
It is.
Yeah, look up, and you know who we're talking about when we say they. Just look up what that is if you're very curious, because it's not good. Stephen King is a weird motherfucker. But I thought it was good. I really did. First one's better. 100%. I mean, my favorite part about the first one is they really beat the shit out of that clown at the end. Really, he's like, it's just... a bunch of kids surrounding him. He's trying to turn into all their fears. And they're like, fuck you, I got a crowbar. I'm just going to beat the shit out of you. And it's, I don't know. I really...
Still gotta watch it.
Dude, you do. It's very Stranger Things-esque. In that, it's scary, but I don't think it's insanely scary in any respect. It's very reasonable. Don't get me wrong, though. If I saw that as an 8-year-old...
the naked lady, was that freaky, too?
That was more there were some weird moments of laughter where you're like, why am I laughing at this? She's just dancing away in the back, naked. But then there's other parts where Bill Hader, he cuts the tension so well in some scenes, and he's awesome. I mean, definitely go see that movie. If you like the first one, I think it's totally worth the watch.
Have you been playing Gears 5?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I've been loving that.
Honestly. I mean, besides all the issues it has, which kind of give me anxiety, it's a good game. It's really good. I'm excited. We're definitely going to review that later this month once we finish it.
We're doing an Insanity run through right now. Yeah. We're going to have to put in some... We're crawling on that one. We're going to have to really kind of put
we haven't really had a really long period to play.
That's true.
I mean,
we got to sit...
Friday kind of got all fucked, sort of.
Yeah. Fucking Xbox Live.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
But I'm really enjoying it. I played all the modes.
I'm really liking how they changed up. There's no base building in the multiplayer. I mean, in the single player so far, which I love. And
oh my god, yeah.
I do like the idea of the specialties, and even I've been playing as Jack, and you'd think that would kind of get a little boring. I actually kind of like it. It's kind of cool. You can do a lot more support role, and it was cool. We were playing today. We're getting shot on by snipers. You guys getting pinned down. I can go up behind the snipers and kind of fuck with them. He's a pretty cool addition. I like it a lot. Didn't think I'd be as pulled in. I was saying that before.
I'm happy because I mean, not to go too in depth. Gears, I think, is a very underrated series in general. Sure. I'm not sure why it gets forgotten sometimes. I think it gets brought up in conversation when you talk about third person shooters because it kind of like defined the genre.
Definitely.
Like Gears 1 especially.
Yeah.
But like I feel like it's just like the longer time goes, it kind of gets lost in the conversation. And Gears 4 was so underwhelming in a lot of ways. It really was,
yeah. And I think they are really making some awesome changes for this. Some refreshing changes, like when it comes to Jack and all that stuff. And I really liked what was the one that the mode we were playing the other night. Escape is really cool. I'm very interested to actually try Horde with all the different specialties for each character. I'm ready to get into it with the little Gears.
Yeah.
And then what's the next game coming
out? Borderlands 3 is next week.
Is it really?
Yeah, and then we have a little bit of a lull, and then October is the Outer Worlds.
You're getting that on Xbox?
I don't know.
Not Outer Worlds. Sorry. Borderlands.
Oh yeah.
I might buy it. I don't know. I guess
should be fun.
Yeah, it should be. I mean, I like Borderlands 2 a lot. I haven't played that in Jesus Christ forever. And then after
like 7 years.
Yeah, at least. Man, the floodgates have opened.
I know. Yeah, it's gonna be it's an intense year for sure. It's gonna be a really like jam-packed year. I don't know if I'm getting Call of Duty yet. Death Stranding is in November.
Also, Jedi Fallen Order is then.
Totally forgot about that. Always forget about that.
Dude, I've been playing like Jedi Knight Academy, like the old ones and stuff.
Yeah.
And even like Force Unleashed, and I'm like, oh, I'm ready for like a good.
It's
just
weird.
A game where
I feel like
it's
weird how that is not getting as much. Maybe attention isn't the word, but it's not like in the conversation for some reason.
Well, yeah, they did release. Yeah, I guess I agree. They released that trailer, and then they've kind of been quiet ever since.
Yeah.
And I do think there was some weird reception with that one, just based on like, I don't know. It looked like we were getting. We've talked about this before, like a lot of canned actions, and how much real maneuverability do you have in that game? Was it stilted? So I'm curious to get my hands on it. I'm excited. I want a single player Star Wars game. And I have faith in Respawn anyways. What else have you been watching? Anything? I watched Mask of the Phantasm for the first time.
Did you?
The other night, yeah.
You've been watching Beyond, right?
Yeah. Dude. God, that show's good. Very dark. Like, really dark in some fucking episodes. I was like, this is a kid's show? What the fuck? Like, the one guy gets turned into this, like, sludge monster. And he looks, like, pretty fucking hideous. And he's like, help me. I'm like, I would be shitting my pants as a child. But Titans. Good stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the rest of the season. We were talking about an Xbox earlier, but yeah, like the retooling of I guess maybe the last episode that was in season 1, and then kind of incorporating it into the new filming for season 2. I think kind of was a good move.
No, I think so too.
And I don't think they made that call and probably until like halfway, and I'm like, yeah, maybe that was a good move, because I feel like leaving it on the cliffhanger like that, if they're like they leave episode 1 on a cliffhanger of like, get ready, season 2 is gonna be pretty fucking cool. Titans Tower in San Francisco.
No, that is awesome.
And then, but like season 1 ends on the cliffhanger of like Trigon like coming into the Earth or the world.
What'd you think? What'd you think his look?
It looked pretty cool.
I thought
for one episode, like I think it was fine. I'm not gonna like
exactly.
Yeah.
I wish he looked a little brighter. He was very toned down, and it kind of saddens me that they didn't do that practical, because I feel like they could have, especially after seeing seeing like that swamp thing. I mean, not the legs maybe, but I think they could have totally done. Again, though, they're only using him for an episode, so I understand why they wouldn't want to make that costume or need to. I did enjoy that finale, though. I thought it was interesting going through all their minds of like, basically that episode was just a run through of everyone's vision that Dick had. Or like a version of theirs.
Yeah, they're like the anger.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of getting to them.
Yeah.
I like how they're incorporating Jason Todd into the Titans too.
I do too.
It's not a comic book move. Jason Todd usually is not part of the Teen Titans in any way, shape, or form.
Well, this is the Titans. This isn't the Teen Titans.
Alright, well, what I like is like I guess Dick and Starfire and I guess Hawk and Dove are gonna be kind of like the mentors, guard leaders, and then like the kids. Like it's still like Teen Titans in a way.
For sure. I cannot wait to see what that Nightwing costume looks like. Give it to me. Titans, give it to me. Anyways, should we get into the main topic?
So today we're going to be talking about essentially what we listen to, watch, kind of either podcasts or YouTube or Twitch. It's something we don't really talk about, and I honestly, like, I don't really know what Trio listens to all that much. Like, I know he talks about the Weekly Planet a lot, but there's a lot of YouTube and shit that I watch and listen to that I don't necessarily talk about. So I thought it would be like a cool idea to like, you know, like what podcasts
give out a few
we
recommendations.
listen to. And maybe if we don't bring something up that you watch or listen to and that you like let us know in the comments.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Tweet at us. Let us know.
I love hearing about new stuff.
What you think is cool.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you kind of fall into the rut of listening and watching the same stuff.
I agree.
Just like music.
Yeah.
You kind of just listen to the same shit and you don't really branch out.
For sure.
I know with music and that can be really hard. But with YouTube and Twitch and podcasts, there's really a plethora of stuff.
For sure.
But I'm gonna let you start because I'm gonna lead with an obvious one, and then I'll get into the more stuff I don't.
So probably my favorite stuff to listen to is I love the Weekly Planet. That's Mr. Sunday Movies. Nick Mason. They kind of give their take on the movie news, comic book stuff of the week. They do a weekly stuff.
So they just talk about comic book stuff?
Just comic book movie related stuff and video
Not
games.
Shows?
And no, they'll do shows. They'll talk about shows.
Any comic book related entertainment.
Property, yeah.
Do they talk about comic books?
Yeah. They'll bring up, so they'll do segments where they'll recommend stuff. They do letters where you can write in and say something. It's one of my favorite shows. I really they have a certain comedic tone to them that I really enjoy, and I think it's funny, especially when it comes to when they're reviewing a movie or something like that. I think they have a pretty interesting take. Along that same line, there is a network called the Planet Broadcasting Network, which is basically encompasses that, as well as a show called Do Go On, which is, I think, my favorite podcast.
What's it called?
Do Go On. Do Go On.
Do Go On.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, it's these 3 Australian comedians. They basically, one presents a topic every week. They do a little report. And the other 2 sort of derail and just kind of make jokes along with it. It's a lot of fun. It sounds like a weird show, and you're like, huh.
Premise seems a little tough to describe.
It is.
I feel
it
once
really
you
is.
listen to something,
you get the mode of it, and
yeah.
I really love that Dave, Jess, and Matt are freaking hilarious. There's a chemistry there that I don't find in many other podcasts. But yeah, that one
So that this Do Go On is just a sketch comedy.
Yeah,
kind of
basically.
podcast.
So yeah, they did a report on Amelia Earhart last week. I listened to that. It's pretty funny, and a couple will make jokes or just kind of bullshit around. But you end up learning some cool stuff. You listen to some funny people. You hear some funny jokes. It's just a great time passer, and I've learned about so many weird little cool things from listening to the podcast. What else? I really love Game Scoop from IGN. That's my main.
Who's on that show now?
It's Damon Hatfield. He's still the main guy. Justin. Jeez, what's his last name? It's funny. Really, Damon's the one that keeps me around. I really love him as a host.
Is Altano on it?
He'll come on sometimes. So they'll kind of cycle through some of the IGN staffers.
So it's a 4-host thing, but Damon's always on.
Damon's the host, yeah. But it's a 4-people podcast, and they do Video Game 20 questions.
On it.
Yeah. I usually
Max Scoville.
Yeah.
I fucking love Max.
He's the man.
Yeah, I really like Max Scoville.
People give IGN shit, I feel a lot, but I usually enjoy a lot of their
shit a lot.
I think their stuff's usually fine. Game Scoop, I love it because they kind of cover everything, and that's really my main video game probably podcast. But yeah, I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I was even non-video game stuff, because I'm definitely going to bring one up that I probably never talked to you about. And you'll be like, whoa.
Yeah. So there's another one. This one's a little bit more niche, too. It's on the Planet Broadcasting Network as well. It's called Primates. And this is by one of the guys who's on Do Go On, Matt. Oh, and by the way, for Do Go On, the reason it's called Do Go On is because after they'll derail, they'll go, all right, please do go on. You see it throughout the show, and you'll get all these little kind of inside jokes if you feel the need to go back and listen to them. But Primates is just... He talks about, and I think the tagline is, they talk about primates and popular culture from chimpanzee to chimpanzee. And it literally is, they
talk about monkeys?
So they'll just talk about a movie property or TV that has a monkey in it. Sometimes, it does sound stupid, but it's probably one of my favorite podcasts ever. Because, it's just kind of like another Do Go On. In the same way of, it's just 3 guys kind of bullshitting about and giving their kind of review of a movie, or a show. They haven't done King Kong yet, but here, let me just pull up some of the ones that they've done. Because it's basically anything that even sort of a little bit has a monkey in it. They just reviewed an episode of Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?
Have they done the episodes of Family Guy where the monkey's in the closet?
I don't think they have. That's a good one. I'm gonna write it and be like, so they've done Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. The Lion King. Literally, if there's a...
there's a monkey in Jane Silent Bob?
Apparently, yeah, that shows up. They talk about it at one point.
That's so... so they review things with monkeys in them.
Yes, and then they talk... It's usually things that are more heavily based on
they probably don't talk about the monkey.
Oh, no, they talk about the monkey a lot. So he does a thing at the beginning where he'll have the guests give their favorite primate, and then also they'll do an Andy Serkis watch because he is the pinnacle when it comes to primate acting. Of course, he's basically a monkey in a lot of things. But it's just a funny, just kind of bullshitting comedy show where they'll review something interesting, and I mean, it's funny. It'll be something I don't even know about. Like they reviewed Toy Story 4. He reviewed it. He reviewed. He did an episode of Project Runway, and then he did an episode of Full House. Like. It's just...
What?
And then they talk about at the end how much they relate to the monkey in the episode.
What?
Dude, it's hilarious.
How high were they when they came up with that idea?
I don't know. So he's like... It's funny, he even talks about it. He's like, honestly, I thought this would die out like 20 episodes in, but we're still here at 62 or something. I think
62 episodes?
Yeah, no.
What is it,
it's been over a year. Yeah. They do it. So it's that. Do go on Weekly Planet. I used to listen to, they have like a game one on there that I didn't love too much. And then there's also one called Plumbing the Death Star. This is on a different one. I think this is Sans Pants Radio. But basically, they'll bring up a question to do with popular culture. So one time they did, would it be better to live in Metropolis or Gotham? Or something like that. So, and they'll debate that or like talk about that and just kind of, again, it's a couple comedians that kind of riff on it. They'll make some jokes. But that one I think is really funny. They did one on like what are the implications of the snap from Endgame, like what would really happen or what they think. Oh,
that'd be a sick. Actually, that'd probably be a good idea for a podcast.
Yeah, no, but there's some really fucking funny ones on there. That's one I would really highly recommend as well. But what about your podcasts?
Before I get into that, can you just go over to the computer and make sure it's recording? Because I have one, a gooch moment where it's like, is this really recording? Because
I'm gonna have to talk about this. All over again. It's recording. They're both blue.
Stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. See?
I have my glasses on. Yeah.
Yeah. See, but like that's the thing. Do you want to have to redo this again? No. So for podcasts, what I'm listening to, I talk about Kind of Funny all the time, and I listen to Kind of Funny every fucking day, pretty much of my life, for like 2 years.
Yeah, that's turned into Planet Broadcasting for me.
It's very like Kind of Funny is very much like a lifestyle. Like I just consume pretty much all their content. So if you don't know who Kind of Funny is ex-IGN employee Greg Miller, who kind of started his own channel after he left IGN with Colin Moriarty, but Colin's not on Kind of Funny anymore.
Yep.
It's also Tim Geddes, who's ex-IGN, Kevin Coelho, who is ex-IGN, and Nick Scarpino, who are all pretty much ex-IGN people. But it's funny they don't brand themselves as like... Yeah. They are all ex-IGN.
They've had like Pear and all them on, haven't they? Like the guys from IGN.
Oh yeah. There's like no hard feelings. Of course, but like it's kind of funny. It's like literally all of them. Like Nick and Tim and Kevin were all like behind the scenes people. So they weren't like a
like a face.
Colin. Yeah. And they do daily. There's Games Daily. There's they do more sketch comedy shows that is like KFAF, which it's Nick and. Andy Cortez, who used to work for Rooster Teeth, who's kind of come on, and they just like get into like antics. They're hilarious. Yeah. Andy and Nick are just fucking goons. Like it's really just the way to put it. And they do some crazy shit on that show, and that's more comedy oriented. Tim has Internet Explorers, which is again is just like looking at shit on the internet that's funny and having a podcast about it. There's Gamescast, which is the weekly gaming podcast, which is more. Not talking about necessarily the news and kind of talking about what they're like playing, what they are playing, what's coming up, maybe talking about E3, Game Awards, whatever. There's Screencast, which is a movie podcast that Kevin hosts. What else do they have? They have their in-review shows, which is either reviewing movies that just came out, or they have MCU in review, Harry Potter in review, Mission Impossible in review. That's like a new show that like MCU in review kind of took off. Yeah. And doing that with them, that was the only one where I watched, I had Spider-Man in review actually. Yeah. Where I watched all of the MCU movies
when they were doing them. Yeah, I did that
when
too.
they were doing them to lead up to Infinity War.
Yeah,
And that was like very cool experience.
It was. I agree.
And like they just did Harry Potter, which is a series like I want to rewatch, and I'm like I don't have time.
Yeah, Harry Potter. I love those movies.
I mean, they're long, but like
but
watching a movie every weekend and like sticking to that schedule can be a little tough.
No, especially
to
if
kind
you're
of keep
not,
up with a podcast.
Especially like when you have to. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, when you have to.
It is weird. Yeah, I would love to start doing more of those. Like maybe for a topic for a month, like we watch the Matrix trilogy again or something, and then just kind of talk about it. Like
I watched the original Matrix kind of recently.
Yeah,
somewhat recently.
Still great. I love that movie.
Yeah.
But like I would really love to do more like topical stuff like that. But yeah,
I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure that's all the shows they have. I think I said everything. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. But yeah, they've kind of been branching out. It's not just video games and nerd culture stuff, for lack of better terms, but they do
pop culture stuff.
Oh, the Kind of Funny podcast, which is used to be Game Over Greggy's show, where they just talk about life.
Yeah.
Which I actually really like. One thing I really enjoy about Kind of Funny is I get like my gaming and shit from them, but I also just like to hear them talk about
hanging out with them. You're a couple of friends. Yeah.
Like they're very interesting. I've learned a lot about WWE from watching Kind of Funny.
The best type of podcasts feel like you're the fourth friend in the room.
Yeah,
Kind of
funny. I definitely feel like
you feel even I've watched episodes.
And I've met them.
Yeah,
too.
And that's awesome. If do go on, they want to do a tour around the U.S. and if they come here, I don't care if it's anywhere close by.
I was talking
I'm
to
gonna go.
Joey, who's their community manager, and she was like, because in New York, I was like she was like, a lot of people from Philly here. I'm like, you should definitely come to Philly.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, you definitely should. I was like, that's definitely a spot on the East Coast that I think you need to hit.
It's a big pinpoint, yeah.
Yeah, big pinpoint.
Sure.
Come here. Big pinpoint.
Come on.
Huge pinpoint. But
Yeah. No, it really, when you find that good one.
And they bring a bunch of people on. It's not just them. They bring
going to say,
Andrea Renee from What's Good, and she does her own shit. She comes on. Fran Mirabella is on there now.
Is she still doing the like daily game news show? What was the one? Games Daily?
Yeah, she still hosts on Games Daily.
Yeah.
But I'll get into. She's actually moving to LA, so she's
going
to be off Kind of Funny now.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, because obviously she's moving.
Yeah.
But speaking of Andrea, I also listen to What's Good,
yeah.
who are Andrea Renee, Britt Brombacher, and Christine Steimer, who's like an all-girls gaming podcast. It's pretty much just all gaming. Yeah. And it's interesting to get the female perspective. And I actually like how they're pretty much the only all-female gamers podcast that I like, that are like, they're probably definitely not the only one. But like, they're like bigger names.
For sure.
And I think it's pretty cool listening to them and listening to just all girls talk about stuff.
No, it's we're definitely usually listening to dudes talk about video games, which whatever.
And like I don't listen to them as much as Kind of Funny, but you know
you'll chime in on every once in a while.
I'm familiar with who they are and what they like, but I like how there's like, if like a girl ever asked me like, oh, like what podcast do I listen to? Like, What's Good? Like you're literally listening to another like a bunch of girls talk about games, and that's really cool. That's a thing.
So what the Weekly Planet and all them will do sometimes, they'll put another podcast from another feed like onto theirs, like as like, hey, maybe you'll like this. Listen to this. And I cannot remember what the name of this podcast was, but I thought it was actually a really good idea, and I listened to like a couple of them. It was basically two chicks watching movies that they always are told guys always say, you need to watch this. Like, how have you not? So they watched Terminator, and it was interesting.
The first one?
Yeah, and it was really actually interesting. God, I'm pissed I can't remember the name, because I actually really enjoyed the podcast. They watched the Terminator, and it was just funny listening to them talk about, like, they know superficially what the Terminator is, but like they're going in like, I thought the Terminator was the good guy on this one, like, or something. It's a very interesting kind of point of view podcast, and it's funny, you never really think about that, but I've definitely been like, you haven't seen this, you have to watch this, or something. It was an interesting idea.
What's one I'm trying to think of?
Even like I'll go like Dumb and Dumber, or so like just classic movie. Like,
I
have to see that.
Yeah, like I was like, I could think of my own things that I'd say that I'd like you have to watch this.
Yeah,
but I'm trying to think of like the like stereotypical movies that like guys always
like. You need to watch The Predator, man. There's like, I don't know.
You do need to watch The Predator. That's true. But that's kind of my gaming podcast. I don't have like too many. Like I kind of like stick within like this realm that I've been in, and I listen to What's Good and Kind of Funny.
You don't have any like exclusively movie podcasts do.
No,
besides, like,
no, I don't. And that's kind of like I'd be interested to get into more just movie based podcasts.
And even that's why I do.
Which is
why I love.
I like how
Weekly
Kind of
Planet.
Funny has like that kind of show, but like I don't listen to like a podcast that is just that.
Yeah. One thing I do enjoy about the Weekly Planet again is like they'll usually do they're reviewing It Chapter 2 this week, so that'll be their main topic. Then they'll run through the news. But like I used to listen to one called Mad About Movies, which I thought was actually really good. They just review a new movie every week, but I've kind of fallen off with them. I'm trying to think if there are any other like good just movie ones.
I do have another podcast, and that is very like out of the realm of like nerd culture, movie stuff, or not So basically, out of the realm of entertainment and comedy.
Yeah.
So have you ever heard of You Up podcast?
No.
So You Up podcast is a dating podcast.
Yeah.
It's made by Betches Media, and they must do more like female oriented podcasts. But it's the host is Jordana Abraham, and she works for them. She's not like an influencer.
Yeah.
She's probably like just a podcaster. I wouldn't say she's an influencer. I mean, like I guess she's on a podcast, so she's technically an influencer. And
tomato.
Jared Freed, who's a comedian, so it's just a guy and a girl, and it's a dating podcast.
Interesting.
And it's I find I like listening to other people talk about dating.
Like their perspective.
Not even like like their perspective, but like also like people write in and they have a segment called like weird sex, like people's sex stories that are just like really bizarre.
What are we doing?
And then like they they read the email or whatever, and then they like give it a goofy name and they talk about it, and they have
You
like.
Up.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's worth the listen. It's just interesting, especially when you're single.
Definitely.
And I don't know, dating is just a fucking weird.
They
talk about like dating apps
as
and
Pat
stuff.
Benatar once said, "Love is a battlefield, my friend."
Yeah, it's a fucking hell of a battlefield today.
And
yeah,
it's
it's just interesting. I don't know why I find like sometimes it's like a little like
no, you get a little
like
you get another perspective.
Should I tell people I listen to a dating podcast?
No, yeah.
Like, I was like, a lot of people listen. They're doing like a live tour right now where they go to they do a comedy club and
they'll
do
they'll record a live podcast.
Not a live podcast, but it's like a live show for the podcast. And they have other segments. They bring on guests occasionally. They have a thing called like Red Flag or Deal Breaker where they bring up like a thing. Is that like a red flag or deal breaker? And they talk about it. It's interesting.
Do you ever listen to Theo Vaughn?
That sounds
He's a comedian. He's hilarious. That's one of the comedians podcasts that I actually really enjoy. He's got a crazy ass lingo about it. He's hilarious. Can't recommend him enough.
And they're based in New York. Kind of Funny based in San Francisco. And what's good is actually mostly through like Skype and stuff because I think Steimer lives in LA.
Interesting.
I actually don't know where Britt lives.
I hate when there's a podcast and someone's like streaming in. I don't know. I've usually maybe there's not a big.
Usually, if how it is they're all streaming in. Like it's not just like two of them in one place. Like if they're together, they're all together. If they're not all together, they're not all together.
Yeah.
And
all the Planet Broadcasting stuff, they're all based in Australia actually. So I hope they come over here soon. I would really love to see a live show if do go on. But,
yeah, I think You Up is coming to Philly. And this a female coworker who I guess won't name because I don't know if she wants me to do that. I started listening to them in like June after like a not like a breakup, but I stopped talking to somebody and I was kind of like down about it. And she just was like, "You should listen to this," and I was like, "Oh no, am I gonna be one of these guys?
Don't get me into this."
I was like, "Oh geez," like I didn't even, I was like, I never even considered.
Bro, this is the thing. What is going on?
Yeah, I was like, I never even considered this. You know how much I listen to podcasts and do my own.
There's a podcast for everything.
Dating podcast.
I listened to.
I was like, all right.
Did you listen to the Wolverine one, the Long Night thing?
I've seen a lot of ads for that.
I've watched.
Is that like what is that?
It's just like a story. Like basically, it's from the perspective of these two investigators, like checking out a town.
So it's like a mystery theater podcast.
And like there's exactly
which are like a thing. Apparently
big thing now.
Big with girls, conspiracy podcasts. Why? Like crime, like true crime.
No, there's true crime ones are.
What is up with that?
I listened to one that was talking about.
I see a lot of girls like on like dating apps and like, or even girls just talk about like true crime podcasts and like conspiracy podcasts. I was like,
girls love murder. I don't know what it is.
I was just like, what is this? I was like, where is this coming from?
No, I mean that's a big thing. Even like you got shows like 48 Hours and crap like that. Like people are big into that. Like the murder, like the Netflix
I mean, I wanted to
shows.
watch True Detective for a while, but
There's what's the one on Netflix, Mindhunter or Mind something.
Yeah, Mindhunters.
Yeah, so those things do really well, weirdly well. People like murder.
So I also consume a lot of YouTube.
Yeah.
A ton of YouTube. And I'm obviously definitely can't name everyone I watch, but who do you watch on YouTube, Trey?
Well, Mr. Sunday Movies, that's Weekly Planet. He does that podcast, but he also does...
So he's Australian too?
Yeah, that's the same guy. Him and Nick Mason will put up videos, basically. They do one thing called Caravan of Garbage every week, which I'll watch usually when it comes out, is they'll just bring up something from the past, watch it, review it. Maybe it's a comic book, maybe it's a movie, and they'll just kind of deep dive into it. Maybe it's terrible, maybe it actually ends up being kind of cool, but again, their repertoire is my favorite part, and I think they really kind of bounce off each other well, and it's entertaining to watch. He also does like trailer breakdowns and stuff like that. I really enjoy Star Wars Theory, actually.
Star Wars Theory?
Yeah.
Okay.
He'll just break down like maybe some expanded universe stuff that is no longer canon, or he'll break down a trailer, go into certain things on like, I don't know what lightsaber crystal means what. Like it gets very nerdy very quick.
Yeah.
And
he's basically like a Star Wars lore YouTube channel.
And it's really cool. He'll give his like take on maybe the trailer, or give like his theory on what is maybe coming for the next movie, or what they're doing in a comic, or he'll break down like, so there was a Dooku book that just came out recently, and he'll take things out of that and like basically explain what happened at certain points, so that way maybe you don't want to go read the book, now you know what canon happened to Dooku from this book. It's cool stuff. I really like his videos, and they can be very in-depth, or just very kind of like quick kind of bite-sized things, like 6-7 minutes. You can blow through a ton.
So there's short videos.
Yeah, and there are some longer ones.
Because, like, I mean, like, for me, like, one side of things is, like, Python Zalkin, who I've talked about, who's, like, a Metal Gear, PT, Silent Hills, anything Kojima-related theory. And
those are, like, 5 hours, right?
And, yeah, they're, like, 2-hour fucking length. Like, really well put together videos, like, researched about it is Death Stranding, the spiritual successor to PT, and he'll
dive into it in every different way,
and about like either Kojima or what he's tweeting.
Yeah, I bet you could probably find a Star Wars account out there like that.
I bet you can.
Yeah, but like I do like how he'll just kind of break it down kind of quick. But there's so many videos that you could just kind of put him on repeat for a couple hours and really kind of learn some interesting stuff, and maybe learn about a comic or two that you didn't know about. Yeah, that. Side note, that Darth Vader comic is really good that they got going on right now. And I'm reading it. Definitely worth a watch. Read.
No, watch it. Don't read it. Just look at the pages.
That's true. Just watch that book.
So, just to kind of go off of what we were just talking about, I watch a lot of YouTubers who like cover lore for games. One of them is Nobble. He is a World of Warcraft YouTuber, lore YouTuber, and that is pretty much how I keep up on WoW. I stopped playing World of Warcraft in like freshman year of high school, and I have not gone back since. But I like the world, and I'm still like into the game. That's kind of where like I take a lot of pride in like knowing a lot of things, even if I don't play the game. So like keeping up on like what's going on with the Switch.
Sure.
Keeping what the goings on about what's going on with World of Warcraft, like specifically because Classic just came out and they relaunched the original game, and I've been watching a ton of streams on that. But like just kind of like it's a game I liked, but like I'm just choosing not to play. But I like the story, so I just watch Lord YouTube videos about it, and I have a base for it. It's not like I'm like watching something don't understand, but he's one of them. Another one is Vati Vidya, who I've talked about. Dark Souls, all the Souls games, Sekiro, Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Bloodborne. He just does lore videos on them, and he's
really kind of
really good.
Breaks it down.
Has a nice, deep kind of British.
That is one. You need a good voice on your YouTube channel. You really do. It makes a difference. Sorry
as I thumb through stuff. There's a lot of YouTube channels that like I used to watch that I don't anymore.
Mm-hmm.
One of some things huge that I love to watch are video essays on YouTube, and I even produce my own. I think video essays are like some of the best fucking content there is.
It's really great. We do live in a time where it's nice. You can really kind of sit down and just soak in a topic if you really want to.
Yeah.
Like I love podcasts just because I can really just sit there and just be with that thing.
Somebody's Super Bunny Hop, who does a lot of sort of either like he's kind of like an investigative journalist YouTuber. Like some of his videos are just about like video essay topics, like just random topics that aren't like super deep dives. But more recently, he's kind of just been like investigating certain things. Like I know when like Kojima like left Konami, he really dug deep into that and like got sources who were talking about it, like unnamed sources and stuff, and he kind of digs deep into topics that he's into.
Check my YouTube stuff too.
Thumbing through.
You know who I actually I'll just watch Mr. Nightmare on YouTube. He'll just talk. People will send him in true stories, and he'll narrate them and put them just in creepy music.
One guy
pretty
who
good.
I kind of recently discovered, who I've told you a lot about or linked his videos, is Matt Draper. He does a lot of comic book video essays. So there's Swamp Thing videos and there's Daredevil videos that I linked to you. Oh. He does those, and he just kind of like talks about either like a Daredevil arc or some not like topic within a comic book, but like for Swamp Thing, he kind of covered that. Who does that famous run? Yeah,
Alan Moore.
He covers the Alan Moore run of Swamp Thing. And
yeah, no, that sounds really cool. There's also one, I don't know if you've heard of Variant Comics. They're pretty good if you're looking for like explainers on comic stuff and things like that. There's also, I mean, this one doesn't need my recommendation. It already does so well, but First We Feast is a great fucking show. If you've never watched that. First We Feast, Hot Ones, Sean Evans. Ever watch it?
No.
So basically he just interviews celebrities while eating progressively spicier wings.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, what the fuck am I saying? I know what that is.
Fucking great show. I think he really, honestly, is one of the better interviewers out there, and I love the way the wings break you down, man. You really do see those celebrities just start to kind of snap halfway through, and like he just has to keep it together, and you can tell he's just done it so much where he's like, this sucks, but I'm just in it. Like I know. This is terrible.
Yeah, like there's that video of Shaq eating a wing, and he's like. He licks it and he's like, ooh.
No, there's some really, really great episodes of that show. I can't give it enough.
Two other people that fall into sort of like the video essay review topic. The Gaming Brit Show, who's a British guy. Again, another Brit talking about games, either reviewing stuff or doing like video. It's kind of like review video essays.
Yeah.
And Nitro Rad, who covers games that I never play, which are very like obscure, like older PS2 games. And platformer games that I've never played, but sometimes the game interests me. It's like, I know what that game is. Like, I'll watch this video even though I've never played this game. I never will play this game in my entire life. I just enjoy a well put together opinion piece.
I agree.
For like games and stuff, or like whatever point and topic you're trying to do. And I found a lot of like video essays around here. Another reviewer I like to watch, Angry Joe, who I've talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And I've talked about Emergency Awesome a ton. He covers like comic book related news and stuff, and sometimes I'm totally into what he's saying, and sometimes I'm like, I totally.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. There's some YouTubers like who I like him especially. He does great. I love his videos, and sometimes I'm just like,
what are you even talking about? Yeah,
what? No, it's not. I was
listen,
like, shut up.
Listen here, pal.
Yeah,
that is incorrect. Yeah, no, I will most of the time. Like I'll line Mr. Sunday Movies. I will line up usually with their opinions. Obviously, I won't with everything. But it's always nice finding that reviewer or source that you usually align with and can come back to for a good opinion.
You know, Delco Network. I watched that.
Yeah, I heard they're pretty good, actually. I don't know, though.
I'm just thumbing through. Trying not to forget some. There was someone who I wanted to talk about. Oh, so I don't watch a lot of political stuff, but I occasionally will watch Steven Crowder.
Yeah.
Change my mind segments.
They're interesting.
Sometimes I get a little mad, and I'm just like, you know what?
Dude,
it's gonna like not make my blood boil, but like get me like.
I used to listen to a lot more political stuff,
shit.
And I realized I was gonna have a heart attack, so I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Like I would listen to like Ruben and all that, and like even like some Jordan Peterson stuff, and I was just like, this is just...
I don't watch Steven Crowder that much. I occasionally will jump in and skip around his like 2 hour long.
I mean, I love...
Change my mind. Again, and, like, it's interesting to just hear some of the debates, and sometimes it's clickbaity. It's like, what's... Like, in the beginning of the videos, like, usually highlights some person being a jackass.
Yeah, being
like, you kind of just want to see what happens. And...
No, it's true. But I actually think those, for the most part, are pretty... If someone comes down and wants to have a conversation with him realistically, he's not going to be a jerk. He's going to just explain his point.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree. I don't mind him at all.
And of course, there's like a ton of other things I watch that like like I used to watch, I don't watch anymore. Like I'm constantly thumbing through my subscriptions, and I'm like, yeah, there's a ton of YouTube channels that I just
don't even touch anymore.
Don't watch or don't make a lot of content anymore. Wow, Machinima. I'm still subscribed to Machinima.
What the fuck?
What the hell? Unsubscribe. You know they went out, right?
Yeah. Yep. Poor Machinima. That old Machinima.
They still have like 2 million subscribers. They don't even make content. They haven't made content in 3 fucking years.
I mean, how did you think about... You didn't think to just go and unsubscribe from them? It's not like everyone was like, oh, Machinima's gone. Unsubscribe. I'm surprised that their channel still exists, though, to be quite frank.
I mean, I don't know. They like archive the videos, and then there's trying to, yeah. I mean, that's kind of all the people like I kind of like look out for.
I agree.
Sometimes I find random videos that I watch, but like actually in the grand scheme of things, I don't watch as much YouTube as I thought.
Yeah.
And of course, like there's some people who I used to watch a ton who I don't watch anymore.
That's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Mention. But yeah, like I am on YouTube a lot watching stuff, and I do watch podcasts on YouTube.
Yeah, most of the time with me, I'm listening to my podcast.
Yeah, I watch podcasts for the most part, unless there is no video like you up. There's only audio.
Gotcha.
Which is kind of interesting. It's kind of funny. He does video and audio, and I feel like most gaming podcasts do have video.
Yeah, none of my other podcasts do video and audio. Actually, Dugo might do a video. I usually find it that I don't need it, but it's still a nice element to have. Anything else, Gooch?
So do you watch any Twitch streams?
No.
Not at all?
Not really.
You really don't watch any Twitch?
None. I don't know. I never was like... I never really felt like watching, like... Yeah. No first-person shooters, nothing. I'd rather just be playing.
I put a lot of Twitch streams on in the background. I'm trying to see if I can get to my followers list here.
Yeah, I don't know. I just never really felt.
I feel like when you watch Twitch, you're either into it or you're not.
For sure.
Like there really is no
mid ground. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not superficially into Twitch.
Yeah, like there's a lot of variety streamers I watch, like Dan's Gaming, who's a big variety streamer. Kind of like, and I watch like a ton of smaller people. I watch the Overwatch League on Twitch. One big channel going back. I've talked about Outer Haven Network before, but they are like a Metal Gear streaming channel, and they only stream Metal Gear, and they do like fucking 6-day marathons of all the Metal Gear games, and it's just like honestly I'm gonna talk really highly about them because I think they're like this. I really think they're this gem on Twitch. Twitch can be a really weird place, but I think like what they do. And, like, they stream, like, occasional things every so often. Like, maybe they'll do, like, one run of one game, but it's not, like, super in-depth.
Sure.
They'll just do one game, and it's like, just a few hours or a day-long stream or whatever it is. But when they do fucking... It's 3 guys, DRK, UK Nightmare, and 3 Dog. And when they stream Metal Gear for 6 days straight... And that's all they do, and they shift off. So one, like they're either sleeping, and then one wakes up and he starts streaming, the other one goes to bed, and then they kind of like cycle. And I'm just like, sometimes streams go wrong where like they get really tired and they fall asleep like during cutscenes, and they kind of like know the timing of it, or like. And like one,
I'll put on like a timer.
A few times, like one guy, Knight fell asleep during MGS5, just like randomly.
Yeah, he's just sitting there,
and then like, dude, he's asleep, like he's totally asleep.
Dead, yeah.
And like he wakes up and he's like, fuck.
It's funny. I think you told me.
But like they cover I like consuming Metal Gear like a fucking movie. I just put it on the background and like you listen to it. Like it's like the cutscenes and the codec calls are really interesting to just like not even watch, just to like listen to in the background. And Three Dog has his own channel, and he plays a lot of games that, like, older PS2 games, and Resident Evil he plays a lot. He likes a lot of horror games, and I really like to watch him and stuff. Have you ever heard of the Happy Hob? He does, like, Dark Souls speed runs. It's very interesting to watch somebody professionally speedrun games.
Yeah.
He does, like, a lot of, like, he speedruns also, like, Oblivion and Skyrim, Sekiro, Bloodborne. He kind of stays within the Soulsborne series, but branches out a bit. It is very interesting, like, of course...
To see how they do it.
Yeah, but, like, he's also, like an entertainer. He's fucking hilarious.
Oh, really?
Like, he's absolutely hysterical. Like... just like and like he like his freak outs like when he dies.
That's
funny.
funny.
Like, his runs are like they're really good, but like also he's a funny guy to watch.
That always helps.
Why can't I get through my follower list? How do I look at my followers? Because like I can only see people who are online, and you know I'm just you can't remember everyone.
Of course. Yeah. What's like the mixers now? The other big thing now, right? Ninja's on there.
Yeah, I mean it's the same thing.
Yeah,
essentially. Trying to. Oh, here we go. Let me thumb through some people.
Great podcast.
There's a lot of small people too. Like shout outs to Edenoth, who I watch. I've been watching him for a while. Two people who I've met through Guild Wars: Bog Otter, who I used to work for, and Aurora Peachy, who I met through Guild Wars. Yeah, sometimes YouTube overlaps with Twitch too. So like YouTubers switch. I actually don't follow as many people as I thought. Toki888. Here's a fun thing. Toki. You want to know some small world shit? So Toki is just like a variety streamer. Kind of plays old school games too. He streams at night, and he lives in I think like Washington or maybe like Seattle.
Yeah.
And he's from Westchester. How fucking small world is that? And he's like, oh yeah, I used to live in Pennsylvania. Where in Pennsylvania? Westchester? Like, what? I'm like, what are the odds?
That's insane.
They're
small
like
world.
Absolutely crazy. And he's fun to watch. And yeah, I don't watch like Dan's Gaming has like, he's a variety streamer again, and he has like 2K views right now. He's playing WoW Classic. I've been watching him a ton just because I've been watching a lot of WoW Classic lately. But
sure.
I watch a lot of people who, you know, aren't like super well known, but like, you know. Maybe you should go give him a follow, check him out, like some of the people I mentioned. The Morag is someone
go show him some love.
Yeah, like, honestly, like, going on Twitch and, like, looking up a game that you're, like, sometimes I'm like, I want to watch some Skyrim. So I'll, like, thumb through Skyrim. And maybe I watch somebody, but I don't follow them. And maybe you watch some random game and you do follow them. You enjoy them, and then you watch other shit. Twitch is a very interesting beast.
It's the future.
It's definitely like more fun to watch than YouTube. I feel like YouTube is like a different type of content.
No, you're definitely you're going in there with a specific thing. I feel like more with YouTube you want to watch. I mean, I guess not
I'm more like to watch because you know Let's Plays used to be a huge thing on YouTube.
Yeah,
and I feel like Twitch is where you want to watch Let's Plays now.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense
because I don't really need to like see every moment of the game.
YouTube has its own like streaming part now, right? Doesn't it technically?
It's like you know.
Excuse me. Interesting. Anything else on the?
I don't think so. But I do.
I wish I could have more contribute to that. But
yeah, no, it's cool. It's fine. I do watch a lot of shit though. Like,
I'm sorry.
Like, sometimes I listen to a podcast on the way to work, coming home from work. I always listening and watching something at work. Like I come home and I play games. I listen to a podcast or watch a Twitch stream. Like. I always am, like, watching something else.
No, when I have dead air, I'm always turning on a podcast. Like, if I'm cleaning up my room.
You play Red Dead and you're watching.
I'm listening to whatever. Yeah, I'm getting some challenges done. Podcasts really have... That's something I never expected to like as much as I do. Yeah. By the time I came around to 20, like, being 23 or whatever, I'm going to be, like, insanity. And great stuff. If you find one that you really love, there's nothing better. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and that's kind of like where the interest... Did your allergies just hit you like a rocket?
Like a fucking rocket. I don't know what just happened. Gino, what the fuck? But yeah. I mean,
like consuming podcasts is kind of like I kind of like got inspired from Kind of Funny and listening to podcasts to do our own.
Yeah,
and we
for sure. I would say we haven't
really talked about everything entertainment in a long time.
No, we haven't.
Yeah,
that was the first beast. Yeah, first attempt.
When we weekly show of news
and just
that was tough.
Yeah, it was.
This is a lot easier.
I agree. I feel we don't have anything we usually the things that we have to watch we're watching anyways because like it's a Marvel movie that we're gonna see opening night or something. Yeah. It's not. I did hate having like. Did you watch Arrow this week? What happened in the
like,
Arrow?
Not even if you didn't watch it, but like you go to talk about it and you'd be like,
well, what happened?
What happened?
Yeah,
and it's hard to like recount stuff, especially when it's just like two people. Like when you review a movie, I feel like it's a little different.
No, you
review
have a more
an
concise...
entire show.
I agree.
Like you're taken out of it, and you kind of had a chance to process all of it.
1,000%.
And not like, I just watched a show, and now I'm gonna review an episode, and I'm gonna do that.
What am I even doing? Yeah.
And especially when it's multiple shows.
And we met exactly like we were watching Flash, Arrow, and Legends of Tomorrow, and then we'd be like, well, wait, what happened on Legends? Oh fuck, we forgot this whole plot subline. Subplot.
It's like, oh shit.
Oh man, fuck it. But yeah.
And also, you were keeping up with my crazy, like, I was watching shows live of, like, even, like, Gotham and shit.
Oh, yeah, I was like, I can't. That was the one where I was like, Gooch, I'm not watching. Like, we can review it every week. I think we were, but I was like, I'm not watching. Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah, you know what? I think we stopped doing it right when it got, like, really bad.
Yeah, it was just like, we're doing,
even the last season, I wasn't watching it live. Like, I kind of just got to a point where I was like, fuck it. I'd rather watch Flash. Like, I'll just watch it on Saturdays.
Dude, that Flash costume. I really like that. Killer stuff. What do you think?
I think they just knew they made a mistake with adding the chin.
Well, no, and I think I actually don't even think that was the worst part. I think it was the material that the cowl was made out of and like how thick it looked. Like I think if they went with the same material that they seem to have used on this one and just did the no chin strap, I think it would have been passable. But yeah, it did look weird. It was like this weird plastic kind of head cap. The Green Arrow suit looked good too.
I hope you've enjoyed listening to us talk about what we listen to and consume and what content we like.
I mean, that's it, right?
Yeah.
Anything else? Awesome. That does it for us today, guys. Thank you all so much if you've been watching live on twitch.tv/Delco Network. Really appreciate it. You can find this podcast on YouTube as well as most services. Just iTunes, Spotify, all the good stuff. If you can drop us a review on there, it really helps us out, kind of pushes us up to the top. Maybe
give us 5 stars, let us know what you think, but don't give us a low star review. Give us a 5-star.
Yeah,
if some negative.
If you have a 1-star review,
we don't want to hear it.
Please keep it. That doesn't help us. But hey, I guess it's a free country.
I can take negative feedback. I won't take a negative review.
Yeah, that's just give us 5 stars, but say we suck.
Fuck off.
It's like 5 stars. This is the worst podcast I've ever watched. It's like, all right, that's fine. All right, that still works with the algorithm. But yeah, we're on socials as well. We're at Delco Nerds, basically on everything. Facebook, just search Delco Nerd Network. You can find all this information on our website, www.delconerdnetwork.com. For Gooch, I've been Trio. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay nerdy. We will see you next time.